Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another post-match show following West Ham's defeat from Man United by a score of 1-0. As always, I'm Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Irish Tommy. Mate, I know you're in demand, but how are you feeling?
Um, frustrated,
Yeah.
frustrated, but not just frustrated. I'm also actually quite pleased. That for once, frustrated. Obviously, I'm not happy that we've lost the game,
Yeah.
at Old Trafford, but I'm so much more pleased with our approach. Finally, we've actually gone and tried to beat one of these teams away from home, and we've actually had a go. We've gotten after them and tried to win the game, and that's all we've been asking for. We know it won't
Yeah.
always happen. It won't happen for us every time, but um, so yeah, really disappointed, frustrated, but just very happy that we've actually finally gone to one of these teams away from home and really tried to get after them and beat them. And honestly, on another day, we'd have put three or four past them.
Yeah. I mean, that in itself is the biggest issue, in my opinion. Just lack of chances, just lack of ability to separate ourselves in the final third. And I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, you look at the last 5 minutes. De Gea suddenly just turned into Spider-Man. Everything just nothing could get past him. But
yeah, fucking
it's
go gadget arms. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he was. I think he was on a one-man mission to show Spain why he shouldn't be, or why he should have been on that plane to Qatar in a few weeks.
yeah. He's kept them in the game there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Say
I
like,
mean, we deserve like
yeah,
that last flurry at the end there. We deserved a point out of that match.
yeah. I suppose we're going to get into the end of the game at the start of the review, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
but I thought like even just to take the first half, that was really frustrating because we started brightly.
Yeah.
We started
I agree.
brightly, and yeah, we were getting men behind the ball, and we were being solid defensively. You expect that, but the issue that we've had for a while now is that our transition from back to front when we counter attack has been poor. But I thought we were moving the ball much more brightly today, much more
Yeah.
quickly, getting it forward, particularly out to Ben Rama,
I will
who
say
was
I'm very happy to start like to see Ben Rama continually being put into the team now, as well as Flynn Downs, which we'll talk about team selection and everything here in a second. But I just had
yeah,
to get that in there.
yeah. So obviously, look, we all wanted to see Ben Rama start in that front three. The fear was that it would be Fornells again, and we'd be like, oh Christ, here we go again. But it was Ben Rama, and he was particularly bright. In the first half. Um, Unfortunately, with Ben Rama, you just don't get an end product.
Yeah,
He does so much good stuff, and he
and,
gets in and around the
you
box,
can
and then
see
just
him,
fluffs his lines.
yeah, you can see him trying to improve, trying to get efforts, but every single time it's just the three men in front of him. It's just an awful shot over the crossbar out wide. He's trying, so I will give him that. I get frustrated at times with it, but he's trying. He's trying to get better at it.
He does try. You have to give him credit for effort, but he's got to improve
Yeah,
his
I
final
mean,
ball. He's got to
no ifs,
improve his
ands, or buts.
shooting. Yeah, his final ball, his shooting. I mean, we've got to improve all of those things. He's got to
Yeah,
because he's got so much talent, and talent without end product is just wasted. You do all the hard stuff, get yourself into the position where you can really hurt your opponents, and then you just can't pass properly, you can't get the right ball in, or you
yeah,
can't shoot, or your shots are just no good. So I think if he's going to be at West Ham long term, I think he's got to sort that out, and he's got to do it now. He's got to do it
yeah.
quickly. If he's still wasting opportunities like for the rest of this season, I just don't see a future for him at the
No,
club.
you're
And
right.
it's a pity because there is so much talent there. You can
Yeah,
see what he does when he's on the ball in open play. His ability to go past people, he charges into the box really well. He gets into these positions where it makes you sit up a little bit because you think, right, something could happen here, and then inevitably it just breaks down with
yeah.
him. It's unfortunate.
I want to get your opinion, not just from this match, but from recent performances with Bowen. I know that we've talked about at the start of the season more broadly speaking. I mean, it was that he didn't look like his former self. I mean, it just doesn't seem like he's getting as much involved. Is that a correct assessment from me, or what do you think?
Yeah, he's just in poor form. It's just not happening for him for whatever reason. I mean, he had last couple of games he'd improved a bit, and it looked like maybe he was getting back to the place where we might see the best of him again soon. And today he's just gone completely backwards again. I mean, he was really, really poor today,
Yeah,
Bowen. Just a
one thing
passenger.
one thing that really frustrates me with Bowen, I mean, it's in the sport in general, but Bowen seems to be guilty of it a lot. And it's whenever he's simply touched, he just goes to ground. And then he spends the next 30 seconds to a minute, seems like, bitching, wanting or calling for a foul. Instead, the play's continued and the ball's halfway down the pitch. It's just one thing that it's kind of a bugaboo for me. It's just get up and continue. Stop complaining and just get involved.
Yeah, he can be annoying in that way as well. Yeah, he does go to ground too easily. There's no doubt in that. He does try to engineer free kicks, and he's not that good at it. So he doesn't generally get them given.
Yeah.
But as well, his other fault this season is he just runs down blind alleys. He just overcarries the ball, completely overcarries the ball, and ends up running into a blind alley and then just gets dispossessed. And he's on his arse, on the ground, and they're bringing the ball out, and it's been like that all season for him. He was particularly guilty of it today. Genuinely, like there was one point in the second half today where when we were completely on top and we won, and we were completely on top. We had all the possession and had done for a while, and we won a corner. And then I saw Jared picking the ball up to go and take the corner, and I said to Sinead, she was sitting beside me, I literally said to her, I actually forgot Bowen was on the pitch. I forgot he was there. It was like, and that was when we were completely on top and we had loads of possession.
I mean, he was a ghost.
He was a passenger today, and it doesn't help our cause.
No.
For two reasons. The first reason is, when he is on top form, he's a real threat for us and a real positive for us in attack. But the other problem we have is the fact that even when he's not on form, Moyes still plays him.
Yeah.
Moyes plays him every game, no matter what his form is, and that's a problem. If he was just out of form and Moyes benched him for a while, you could say, okay, fair enough, we've got someone else on the pitch now who maybe will do something. But we're basically like, today we played with 10 players.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good segment into Moyes' selections as well with regards to Souček. I mean, Souček, Downs, and Rice. It's a strange combo, especially trying to put Downs as the number 10. But I mean, Souček again. I mean, just he seemed like a passenger as well.
Yeah, I think the one difference maybe with Souček, he does do a lot of good defensive work, off the ball.
Yeah.
So he's at least useful for that. He can defend the box and the edge of the area very well. The problem with Souček, and for me, why he shouldn't be playing, and we saw it again today, especially in that first half, there were 2 occasions alone in the first half when he was carrying the ball out and he gave away really poor passes straight to a United player. And on both occasions, we could have conceded because of it. I don't know what it is with his passing. He just can't pass a ball, and you just can't be coming out of defense and giving the ball away like that. You just can't. And Souček is guilty of it all the time. He really nearly cost us big time today with his sloppy passing, especially in that first half. I don't know why he keeps getting played. I think it is just because of his defensive capabilities that Moyes puts him in there. Because, Moyes loves a player who can defend really well, especially if he's a midfielder, because he's essentially an extra body in defense when we don't have the ball. And especially, that's, I think, what he plays on. But he's a liability on the ball. He really is. If I'm a teammate of his, I'm saying, okay, Tommy is going to do really good defensive work for us here, but I'm fucking not passing him the ball. when we get it back. I'm just not. I'll fuck it out. I'll fuck the ball out over the sideline for a throw in before I pass it to him, because that's a safer option than giving him the ball coming out from the back, because
I mean,
you
you're
know
not
he
wrong
really
there.
nearly cost us today with his passing. And yeah, I think Lawrence there is correct. Actually, it was actually a general feature of the first half, and not just for us, for Man United as well. For a lot of that game, actually, the passing from both sides was very, very sloppy. And there was a period again in the second half where ourselves and United just constantly kept giving the ball back to each other. You know, the passing was awful from both sides, really sloppy. So that was a feature of the game in general.
Yeah, no, I agree with you
But
there.
yeah, I agree. I mean, Socek shouldn't have been in there, frankly. He just shouldn't have been.
What's concerning to me is that it's like just it's plain to see that what the plan is once Paqueta is good to go again, Downs is going to be dropped and Socek is going to remain. And I think it's a horrible, horrible decision.
Crazy. I mean, at halftime, I tweeted, you know, I wanted to see a couple of changes. So
Yeah,
at halftime, I tweeted that I wanted Socek taken off, drop Flynn Downs in beside Rice, bring Antonio on and play him on the left of the three, and move Benrahma to the centre in the 10 role where Downs was. I thought that was an obvious thing to do in the second half. Obviously, I knew Moyes wasn't going to do it, obviously, but that's what I would have done. I just didn't think Socek really needed to be in there. I thought we had enough of the ball that we didn't need three kind of defensive-minded midfielders in there. But like you say, we knew Moyes was going to leave him on. So again, Socek, the same as Bowen. Doesn't matter like how Socek is playing, he plays and he stays on. He just doesn't get subbed off and stuff, you know. So yeah, that's frustrating, and it didn't help our cause today at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like I said, this side needs Paqueta back. I really am excited to get when we get him back. But I would much rather see Downs in there than Socek, but we're not going to see it, and it's going to be so frustrating. I just don't know.
Downs has to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution
is. Even when Paqueta and Cornet are back fit and everything, Downs has got to still play.
Yeah, I agree.
Got to. You know, he's a quality player. Again, away at Old Trafford today, didn't look out of place. His passing is superb. He takes up good positions. He can do the stuff Socek does. You know, defensively, he'll work hard. He'll get tackles in. He'll dispossess people. He'll drop back into the box. He doesn't have the height. Maybe he's not as strong in the air as Socek, but I don't care. You know, so I think Downs has to keep playing, because he's the one. He's one of the players in there like Rice who won't give the ball away. So yeah, but yeah, I have the same worry as you that it'll be Downs that moves away for Paqueta, and I'll be very disappointed when that happens. But just as for the game today, I thought really we didn't help ourselves. Really, at times, apart from the sloppy passing, I thought there were many times where we got into really good positions in the final third, and then the final ball wasn't good enough. The cross wasn't good enough, and the shot on goal just wasn't good. Well, we didn't get any shots on goal actually, but you know, silly options as well. Benrahma tried to shoot once when there was a defender in his face, and it was obviously getting blocked. Bowen tried one as well on his left foot, edge of the box, defender right in front of him in his face, who was obviously going to block it. Just silly stuff like that. We've got to sharpen up in the final third. This has been our problem all season. In the final third, we are not good enough. Either we're not creating the chances. Either we're not creating chances when we should be, or when we do, we're not finishing them. And we saw that again today. You know, Bowen had a gilt-edged opportunity in the second half that he should have absolutely buried. He must have been 6 yards out, something like that, and couldn't finish it. And those are the things that are really hurting us this season. Again, we didn't score first half. Again, look, we've scored 3 goals in the first half of games this season. It's just not good enough. It just isn't good enough. And so we can perform as well as we like in open play, and we did today. Performed very well in open play, especially in that second half. But if we can't create chances, and then if we can't take the few chances we do create, you're going to drop a hell of a lot of points.
Yeah, and as James says here too, 70 matches against top 7 or 6 sides. Excuse me. or the Big Six, excuse me, and only 21 draws, 0 wins. I mean,
I don't think
that is a third of our season. That's actually
no,
not
no. Against the current Big Six, see, he has won
okay.
3 times against City, but that was when they were still building this kind of super side.
Well, to be fair, too,
They
we also
hadn't
had the win
become
against Chelsea. That's a little off. We had the win against Chelsea.
not away though, was it? Was it? That was at home. That was 2-1 at home.
Is this, James, is this away or is this in general?
It's away, but it's away. Yeah, I think that's away. I'd have to check out the stats myself. It's horrendous either way. It's it's away. It's horrendous.
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Horrendous stats. Yeah, horrendous stats. But I think today, to be fair, I think we did have a go at United today. I really do, and we did try to score goals. It's just in the final third, we're just not good enough right now. Like I say, it doesn't help that Bowen's a passenger. I thought Scamacca was poor today.
Yeah, and
Scamacca didn't have a good game, and then Benny, does a lot of really great work. I mean, he was carrying the attack a lot, Benny, today. It has to be said. Everything we were doing that was really good was kind of coming through Benrahma. Like I say, he does have to work a bit on his shooting. He's not great at shooting, and sometimes his final ball can be a little loose. It's not great, but at least Benrahma is the kind of player that's carrying a threat. Because Bowen and Scamacca didn't today.
Yeah, and I know that I think it was James who had mentioned it earlier. The boos about taking Scamacca off. I think it was the correct decision. I mean, he was.
I do, yeah. Normally, I wouldn't agree with it, but today I think I did.
With the yellow, several fouls afterwards, very frustrated, very aggressive. We couldn't afford to have him on
I think the next foul from Scamacca, he was gone. And we know Scamacca, and like you say, I think normally I don't like to see Scamacca off Antonio on.
No, I mean that was unnecessary. I mean that was almost on par with a injury. Speaking of injuries as well, hopefully Fabianski is okay. Obviously, Areola in goal is not the end of the world. I want to see more of Areola in goal, but at the end of the day, Fabianski is our number 1 keeper. He did a very good job today when he was in there. So hopefully that's not.
We're lucky. We do have 2 very capable goalkeepers.
Yes.
Believe it or not, Tim, we do have 2 very capable goalkeepers.
Yeah, Tim's currently plugging his ears. He doesn't want
to hear about But I'll tell you what, though, Chris, as regards that second half, I mean, I thought we came out very slowly out the blocks in the second half. The first 10 minutes, United were really on top of us. They had a really good start to the second half, and it didn't look too good for us those first 10 minutes in the second half. But after that, we actually took complete control in midfield. After those 10 minutes, we just took over in midfield, and we were having a lot more possession. We were pushing them back a lot more. And the game was toing and froing a bit more then. We had much more of the possession. We were getting forward. Unfortunately, as usual, not doing enough with it. Excuse me. Enough with it. But, we were well in the game. And then I think Ten Hag did a Moyes. Ten Hag handed us control of that game.
Yeah.
He did what Moyes always does. He decided that the fact that we were controlling midfield and we were on top there, he brought on first Fred and then McTominay. And he literally handed the entire impetus of the game over to us. He decided to sit on a 1-0.
Yeah, he parked the bus.
And from that point on, we were all over them like a rash. I think that was a massive tactical error from Ten Hag to bring on Fred and McTominay.
He's lucky that we didn't come away with one. Yeah,
if we'd have gone on to score a couple of goals in those final 20 minutes and we'd have won that game,
there'd be calls for his
job. It would
job.
have been exactly what Ten Hag deserved for his substitutions. If I'm a United fan right now, I'm thinking, what the fuck were those substitutions? It was a game that was kind of toing and froing. Yes, West Ham were having their bit of possession. They were having their attacks, but so were we. As soon as Fred and McTominay come on, it was all over. Like they were almost completely defensive, and we were all over them like a rash. And in the end, it took basically a goal line clearance from a Bowen effort and 3 absolutely top class saves from De
Yeah.
Gea to keep United ahead in that game. And like Ten Hag almost threw that game away. He really
Yeah.
did. De Gea saved his ass because that was
Oh, he did.
horrendous from that was horrendous
That's
from
probably
Ten
the
Hag.
best few minutes of goalkeeping I've seen this season. I can't think of anything better. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, he had to be perfect, and he was.
Yeah, I mean, the first one I think was Zuma got a header in.
Yeah.
Ball was clipped in, I think from Benrahma. Zuma got the header in. It was going in just inside the post, and De Gea just managed to tip it around the post. Great save. And we'll talk about Zuma in a bit. Actually, we have to. We'll get into individual player performances. And then obviously Bowen had a great chance. It just got blocked by, I think, Martinez on the line. He should have buried that, Bowen. I can't believe he didn't score that. That was a really poor miss. Then De Gea made a really great save from, was it Benrahma? Hit one. De Gea made a really good save. And then right at the end, Declan Rice hit an absolute screamer. No, sorry, it was Antonio with the other hit. Antonio hit one just outside the box. De Gea made a great save there, and then Declan Rice hit an absolute screamer right at the end, which De Gea turned around the post again. And so, De Gea saved Ten Hag's blushes today.
Yeah, he's the man of the match for United. But, I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah. I mean, he kept him in it. Great saves. Although I think actually Dalot was their man of the match. I know you watch it on a different channel. I was watching it in Sky Sports. Gary Neville, the former United player, for some bizarre reason, decided to give Rashford man of the match. I'm like, what the fuck were you watching?
Oh,
like seriously, what were you watching?
Over here, I can attest for all the Americans. I mean, it seemed like 90% of the news or 90% of the coverage was just Rashford. I'm like, is there anyone else on the pitch?
He wasn't even close to their best player.
No, but so when it went into halftime, they do like the highlights and everything here. I don't know exactly. I'm sure they do it for you as well. They said the moments of the match thus far, or like the big moments of the match. They're like, I think they renamed it for the Rashford moments of the match. They literally only showed Rashford highlights. It was like, is there nobody else on this pitch other than?
Well, to be fair, that was all. To be fair, that was all United had in attack.
Yeah.
It was literally Rashford. Yeah. I mean, who else?
I know Ronaldo had 3 chances in a row where he just peppered the outside of Old Trafford, but
yeah, Rashford was the only one going forward for United who really did anything as regards, trying to threat on goal. Eriksen played really well, but he's not really a goal threat. But Rashford was their one goal threat, and he didn't really have all that much going for him. He scored a goal, didn't really do a whole lot outside of that. Yeah, I mean, like it's not like Fabianski didn't have a whole lot to do. How many saves did Fabianski have to make? Not much. Yeah. Areola didn't have a whole lot to do second half. So if that's all they had to show of United, really, was a few Rashford highlights, because really, for United, all of their best performers, maybe with the exception of Eriksen, were at the back and the keeper.
Yeah.
I thought Dalot was man of the match. Their right back. I thought he had a tremendous game. And I thought Shaw did really well. Shaw didn't give Bowen a sniff today. Probably not that it was that hard, but Shaw had a really good game for them on the left. Dalot on the right had a great game for them. So Martinez, he looks a really quality player for them. He looks like he'd been a great signing for them. He had a really good game, and obviously De Gea made 3 world-class saves. So all the best United players really were at the back and the keeper. So, but how you give Rashford man of the match, I'll never know. But yeah, unfortunately, one goal has undone us again.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's bittersweet in the sense of it's fine because it's showing that the defending is doing enough. Like, I mean, it's not like we're getting blown out 4-0. But again, it's just we can't finish in the final third. And that's what's frustrating.
Yeah, and we're going to have to do something about it. Hopefully,
We've been
very
saying this,
soon.
and that's what sucks is we need to fix this. We need to fix this. And it just, I mean, we'll be right back here next week, probably saying the same damn thing.
Yeah, but hopefully, if we can get Corney and Paqueta back soon, which
Yeah,
we
is there
will.
any news on Cornet? I don't know what his timeline. I know
Yeah, he should have been back by now. Like he should have been available for today, but he had a
yeah.
slight setback. So he possibly would be available for the Palace game, but if not, definitely should be available for the following game. Slips my mind. Who's after Palace? Leicester away. Or Leicester at home. So we got 2 home games, I think, Palace and Leicester. So he might be back for the Palace game, but should definitely be back for the Leicester game. And let's hope, because Bowen's ass needs to be dropped. I think
it really does. Yeah. We've been saying that again.
Yeah, so if we can get kind of Benrahma and Cornet on the wings, I think that would really help us a lot. But yeah, I suppose we have to talk about the goal. We did concede one. Very sloppy defending, it has to be said.
Yeah.
2 main culprits, frankly. First of all, Aaron Cresswell. I mean, it was just from a short throw in. Ball was played to Ericsson. He was able to take a touch. Cresswell was close enough to have closed him down and blocked it, but he just made no effort to close it down whatsoever. It was like kind of a half-hearted closing down. He never rushed out. He just kind of ambled over towards Ericsson, stuck a lazy foot out. Really poor from Cresswell. You've got to get out there quickly and get the block on there. He could have and he should have. That cross should never have come in. Cresswell was lazy on that. Not good enough. And then, because Ericsson's a quality player, particularly it was virtually a dead ball, right? Because he just took the touch, Ericsson in front of him, ball was barely moving, and you let him step into it and put a ball in, it's going to be a bloody good ball that comes in. So, that Cresswell really should have worked much harder to cut that out. And then when the ball did come in, it was quality, and Kehrer at the back post decides he's just going to stand there watching the ball and wait for it to come to him, which is crazy. You've got to attack the ball. You've got to go to it, jump, and head it out as far as you can. He just stands there waiting for the ball to come to him. Meanwhile, Rashford's coming in from behind. He's not waiting for the ball. He's making that run. He's getting up, attacking it. Well, Kehrer is just standing there flat-footed, and he just puts a bullet header past Fabianski. He could do nothing about it. It was poor, really, from Kehrer to not know that Rashford is there and that he's going to come attacking the ball is very poor. He should know who is there. That's his job. He's got to have a look. He's got to know what his situation is and who's there. He played it basically like there was no one near him. So that was poor from Kehrer. No, I have to say Kehrer had a really good game. Like he's a quality player. He really is a quality player. But he was poor in that instance. But I think everything that was on the ground and going forward, defending on the ground, I thought Kehrer was fantastic overall today.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
But he was poor on that goal, unfortunately. He was flat-footed. Standing, can't let that happen, because anyone who's coming from behind you is jumping is going to beat you to it. So, maybe a lesson for him, just go and attack the ball. Whether you think there's someone there or not, just go and attack it, get up and get it out of there. Don't stand waiting for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, listen, I know that we kind of have to wrap this up here. We got to keep it a little bit shorter today. So before we really go, is there anything else you'd like to say before we move on to?
I just want to talk about notable performances and men of the match. Rice goes without saying. Old Trafford, he doesn't care who he's playing against or where. He just took control of midfield, particularly in the second half. I mean, he was just in complete control of everything. Just shut them down. I mean, the guy is just completely imperious on and off the ball. Just an unbelievable footballer. You run out of superlatives for Rice. Just incredible player. Again, like I said, I thought Kerr had a really good game. Just a pity that he didn't defend well enough on the goal. Also, I thought Flynn Downs really assured again. Just had a
Yeah.
really assured game. You know, he looks quality. He's very good in possession. Carries the ball well. Excuse me. Really good passer. Very rarely gives the ball away. Dawson, great to have him back today. I thought Dawson had a really good game today. Very solid. He had one hairy moment where he played a really poor pass, which put us in trouble. But other than that, he was really, really good. Benrahma, very lively. Unfortunately, again, end product just wasn't quite there. He did lose possession a few times in the second half, but I don't mind that if he's in a really advanced position and he's trying to go past people. I think you have to allow those players to lose the ball.
Yeah.
You have to let them try those things. They're going to lose the ball sometimes, so I don't really hold that against him too much. I'd rather see him try to get past people than to be too worried about losing possession and play it safe. I'm okay with Benny trying to go past people and maybe getting the ball nicked off him. You know, there's some good defenders there, and that's going to happen. But Benny overall, I thought was really positive for us. He was our one really bright spark up front. So good stuff from Benny. Hope he keeps his place. But and I have to say this today, I thought man of the match was Zuma. He was unbelievable. Kurt Zuma was flawless. He was flawless in everything he did. Absolutely flawless. Just a monster defensive display from
That's
Zuma
so incredible.
today.
We managed to get him last season. I can't believe it.
I know, it's incredible. I mean, he's just as like I don't throw terms around lightly, but that was a world-class performance from Zuma today. Just
I
absolutely
agree.
nothing and nobody got past him today. Absolutely nothing. He was carrying the ball. Second half there, he's getting the ball. He's driving out from defence with the ball, carrying it up into United's half, like really driving at them, forcing them back. Almost scored a great goal with his header. You know, just an unbelievable performance from Zuma. I mean, what a player he is.
No, it's insane. Again, I don't know how we managed to get him away. I don't know how we managed to get Kerr away, Paqueta. I don't know how we've managed to get some of the players we do. I mean, we should. It's still frustrating as hell to me that we should, with the players that we have, we should be much higher than 13.
Yeah, our problems, unfortunately, are in the final third. You know, if we have to sharpen up in the final third, we've got to start scoring more goals. That's our problem. Like I said, 3 goals so far this season in the first half of games. Unfortunately, didn't get one in the second half either today, but we've generally been much better second half. And like on another day, and this is true, only for De Gea, you know, on another day, if we'd been a bit sharper in front of goal, maybe if De Gea hadn't had as good a game, you know, we would have stuck 3 or 4 goals past United today.
No,
you know?
I agree.
But yeah, unfortunately, we've got to work on that. We really do. Maybe with Paqueta and Cornet back, you know, we can see an improvement there, hopefully, because they both carry a threat. But yeah, just to go back to Zuma, I just thought I had to mention him before we go. As centre back performances go, I mean, it doesn't get any better than Zuma's display today. Just an unbelievable performance.
No, absolutely. I do think though that we've kind of said everything we can say.
Oh, do you know what? We haven't quite. One more thing, because this fucking pissed me off.
Oh gosh, here we go. I love it.
First half, Declan Rice comes out with the ball.
Oh, yep.
Skins his man down the wing. Skinned his man down the wing. And the linesman put the flag up. Like, he's in.
Yeah.
His marker is on his arse. He's driving at the penalty box. And the fucking linesman put the flag up for a ball that was not out of play. And I tell you what, that fucking grinds. I don't know what it is. What is it with United? You remember the home game with United when the ball was curled like a mile out of play down the wing? And the linesman didn't put the flag up, and we ended up conceding a goal from it. And I'll tell you what grinds my gears about this, because I am absolutely convinced that fucking linesman guessed. He guessed because he's looking down that line. He's looking at Declan Rice's legs, his leg and his foot. Don't tell me he can see that ball. Don't tell me he can see that ball. I think the ball was halfway over the line, but was not even close to being completely over the line. And I think the kind of players and coaches, manager Ten Hag on the United bench called for a throw-in, put their arms up, pleaded, "Hey, it's out, that's out." And I think he just fucking put his flag up.
Yeah.
I think he guessed.
Oh,
And that is absolutely, and that to me is something you should be censured for. If you were an official and you make a fucking guess because you're getting shouts that it's out, it's criminal. You cannot make a guess. Don't tell me the linesman could see that ball.
Yeah, no.
He's looking through Declan. He can't see through Declan Rice's leg and foot to see exactly where the ball is. He saw the arms go up from the United bench looking for the throw-in, and he fucking threw his flag up. And that is absolute criminal. That is criminal. That is amateur. You cannot guess just because people are appealing for something. That was criminal. That could have cost us a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, it is disgraceful. It's criminal. It's what makes a lot of fans question about not the I shouldn't say the fairness, but the match fixing potential, so to speak, bias, things like that. It really doesn't help.
No, I mean it doesn't. I think it actually happened. I'm convinced it happened twice today. Actually, that we got throw-ins given against us that weren't out of play.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right now that I'm thinking of it as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Listen, we could talk all night about the ineptitude of officials.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I know that you have to go here shortly. I know that you have another show. Like I said at the beginning, you're a very in-demand man.
Very busy man.
Your internet's definitely getting a workout.
Yeah, I'm getting my money's worth through it. Yeah.
But yeah, listen, everyone. Sorry about last week or last match on Monday. Just unable to go. Crystal Palace is next Sunday, right? Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay.
Crystal Palace next Sunday at home, yeah.
As long as it's on a weekend, I will be guaranteed good to go. Unless for some reason internet's out, any of life happens. During the week, it can be a little dicey just because the new job and everything. And again, we'll still go in midweek as much as we possibly can. So I just wanted to apologize for that. But hey, we're back here today. I know that it's not the greatest of circumstances to be back on. Hopefully next week, though, it's a little bit different. Before we get out of here, Tommy, anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think we've covered everything. Just in general, much happier with the approach we took today. Didn't help ourselves at times with the lack of quality in the final third, and De Gea kept them in it as well. So, like I say, very disappointed with the result, but performance-wise, I'm actually really pleased. I think finally we showed that, yes, you can get after these teams. Fuck the name. I don't care if they're Man United. I don't care if they're Liverpool. These teams are not great teams. Leeds showed it yesterday. They went to Anfield, had a go and beat them. We did the same today, especially second half, really had a go at United. And frankly, we should have beaten them today. And on another day, we would have. That's the approach. Hopefully, Moyes realizes now he's got some very good players on his hands. And that we're not going to concede 4 or 5 goals just because we have a go. We've got players like Dawson, Kerrer, Zuma, quality players back there who can defend at a very, very high level and can keep us in the game, can do their jobs and can keep opponents out. So let's remember that next game we're away to one of the big 6. Let's go there, give them something to think about, have a go. And who knows, maybe finally Moyes can win one of these games.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, listen, everyone, thank you for joining us again, as always. I know I appreciate it. I love doing these. So we'll be back here next Sunday. following the match with Crystal Palace. Until then, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.